Thanks for coming, everyone. I had a lot of hair back in the day, didn't I? I don't know where that all went, but I won't take up too much of your time, but obviously I'm retiring and, it's been a hell of a journey. I'm proud of what I've been able to achieve. I spoke to the footy department and the boys earlier, so I won't touch on them too much. But they're the reason, along with my dad and my wife, and everyone involved in this club, as to why I was able to achieve what I achieved. And I leave the game being a life member of the footy club, a premiership player, and I think most importantly, I leave a better person, and that's because of the people in the room now. My body hasn't been able to hold up. I felt like mentally I probably had more to give, but physically, absolutely not. I worked extremely hard to try and get back, and I've pondered this decision for a while, and it's definitely the right one. So we've got a young group now, and it's time for the next wave of players to come through, and that'll be without me, and I get to sit in the stands with my mates now and watch the boys. So I'll always be connected to this footy club. I love this footy club. What it's done for me personally, I don't know where I'd be without the footy club. Along with the support of my dad, who I've already spoken about privately, and my wife Brooke, who's had to deal with, unfortunately, in the football environment, more lows than highs, and she's been there the whole way through. So thanks to Dad and my wife for the support. I really just wanted to get up here and speak publicly, just to say thanks to my whole community. And it started in Kalgoorlie, the JPC Saints and the Mines Rovers Footy Club. They love their footy. I was a young kid who was pretty good, and it all started there. It has such great people in the town, and it probably wasn't until the grand final in 2018, which we can talk about at some point if we want, but it wasn't until probably then I realised how much support I actually got from Kalgoorlie, and it wasn't just because of that year, it was throughout my whole journey. One of the favourite parts of my career was actually getting to take the cup back to Kalgoorlie with Jamie Graham and back to my roots. So to everyone in Kalgoorlie who was involved, I'm not going to sit up here today and name individuals or anything like that, but thanks to everyone who's involved in Kalgoorlie, my family back home, the footy clubs, everyone, my coaches. I'll never take that for granted, and that's very special to me. Footy's given me so much more than I initially expected, and you're able to rub shoulders with some of the smartest and most intelligent people getting around, and that's something I'll never lose sight of. I've had great mentors along the way, and I think all in all, like I said earlier, I'll leave the game, satisfied and happy, and I think I leave the game, most importantly, a better person. So as much as it's going to be sad, I also want to reflect and celebrate, and wanted to say thanks to Kalgoorlie community, and then secondly to the West Coast fans. It's been a journey, over the 12 years, but we truly do have the best fans in the competition, I believe. And as much as we are a great club with a great history and 3 premierships to show for it, and 4 premierships to show for it, it's we can't win those premierships without our fans. So once again, we've had plenty of ups and downs, but without you guys, the game wouldn't be what it is. So I just wanted to get up here and thank the fans for that. And then that's pretty much about it. My wife, my dad, footy boys, we've spoken. So to the media, thanks. You've gone fairly easy on me over the years, so I appreciate that. So don't start being harsh now, please. But that's all from me, so far away.
How hard was it to tell your teammates? What are the overarching emotions right now?
It was the most difficult. It's the most difficult thing that I've sort of had to do in footy, I think. I've had time to think. I've had time to think about it, and I've watched. I think it was Darren Glass was the first person that I saw get up and speak to the boys, and he folded like a camping chair, and he's and I just knew that some of the toughest blokes and players in the game, it's one of the hardest things to do is to say goodbye to your teammates because you love them so much. And then I sat in through Govs last week, obviously, and he's just a big ball of concrete, that bloke. So he didn't shed a tear. He seemed to make it look easy, but I said, well done, and he said, good luck, mate. That was just the hardest thing I've ever had to do. So that didn't help me out, but very, very difficult because it's been 12 years, mate, and I've played with a lot of players, and I've had, a lot of teammates who have supported me throughout the journey and got the best out of me, which I'm grateful for.
Why do you know now is the time is right?
Mate, my body, I thought post ACL, I really wanted to get back to rehabbing that well and giving myself an opportunity of getting back. And I'd been dealing with, a chronic foot pain, and I thought that I could possibly get through it. So I never wanted to close a window, but I don't think that now I'm going to be capable of playing. And then along with that, I'm looking at this playing group now, and that they're going to be fine. Like, they're going to be good. They're going to be the ones to write the next chapter for the West Coast Footy Club, and that's probably where I knew it was my time.
2018, Dom, how special is it for you to be able to retire with a moment that you're connected to that people won't forget?
I mean, I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. Like, right place, right time, and then to be able to execute and impact. On the biggest day in footy is something I think about every 5 minutes. But it's brought me a wide range of emotions over the years, and some amazing ones and some down ones as well. What I do know is, like, to win a premiership, it takes a whole football club to be able to do that. And we had worked our backsides off for years to get to that point. And as much as I was part of that special moment, I was able to execute. It's so much bigger than that. And there's a level of guilt that comes with it, I guess. When people talk about that game, they talk about that kick a lot, and it takes a lot of people to be able to make a grand final, to be able to win one, and I was a beneficiary of what was, in my eyes, one of the greatest grand finals, ever. So it was special, and I wouldn't take it back, that's for sure. But we hit a sweet spot at the right time, and it wasn't just me. It was the whole playing group, footy department, fans that actually got us there. So I'm just grateful I was able to not kick it out on the full, mate, to be honest.
That particular chain was started with Jeremy McGovern, who only retired a week or so ago. Is that impacted on you?
The decision.
You're the bookends of that chain.
Yeah, the bookends. So Liam's the only one left now, but that didn't impact my decision, not to retire, mate. But what a player he was, right? I feel it's a funny feeling sitting up here, and some of the previous players who have sat up here, Bunga, Shuey, Gov, they're like A graders. They're Hall of Famers of the game. So I wanted to just acknowledge my thanks to the fans, but I almost feel not worthy to be sitting up here, but I feel very, very lucky, and I'll leave the game a happy person, mate.
How would you like to be remembered as a player and as a teammate?
I always tried to be consistent, whether that's on the footy field or off the footy field. And I spoke to the boys before, footy brings more lows than highs. And, if you can stay consistent as a person, that's always what I strive to be. I wanted to be someone I'm a pretty simple bloke. I wanted to be someone who trained hard and was a good bloke. So, and I tried to keep it pretty simple, and, I come in that way and I left that way, I think.
Dom, do you look to stay in the game, or do you want to venture further afield now that you're done?
I'd like to stay connected to footy in some way, shape or form. I'm not going to rule anything out, but I think I'll explore a couple other ventures first. But I really want to stay connected to this club and this game in some way. And I don't think necessarily that will be coaching, but it might be in other areas.
How many times do you reckon you've been asked about that kick?
Oh, heaps, mate, heaps. You put your answer on repeat a lot. I've put a little bit of mayo on it every single time I've spoken about it, but it's been a lot. And I think it wasn't until after we won the grand final, how much joy and happiness you can bring other people. And I think that was really special for me to be able to actually bring happiness to others. And that's what I'll leave the game. And I really hope that that's what I was able to do, is bring joy to others and be a good person. So I've been asked a lot, and I'm sure I'll continue to get asked a lot. And it's just going to be one of those moments which was pretty cool.
Just reflect, Dom, on that whole year for you, sort of in and out of the team, and then able to step up through that whole final series.
Yeah, I was out of the team 8 weeks before finals. I was playing waffle footy. I remember it was hailing out at Bassendean Oval with 8 weeks, and I'm sort of meant to be in the prime of my career, and I didn't, sort of crossroads for me, and I was very lucky to get my opportunity to come back into the team, but more so proud that I made the most of that opportunity as well and was able to play a role. But it was hard throughout that, but once again, I felt like I found my sweet spot at exactly the right time.
Tom, have you had to go back to buying your own beers? We talk about that kick.
Yeah, I have actually. I was in Kalgoorlie last week. I left my wallet here in Perth, though. But no, it's the footy world moves very quickly, and it feels like a lifetime ago now. So the beers are just slowly starting to drop off, mate.
Can you be honest? How many times have you watched the kick?
How many times? Well, 5 on the way here, and then you see the little snippet a fair bit, not through me googling it, but you see it pop up. So I'm sure after this press conference, I'll see a few more clips. But it was actually nice to see. I've actually got more highlights than that up there, which I was surprised. But it's been a few. A lot of tackles. Yeah, well, I don't reckon I was the highest averaging tackler, mate, and you know that. Turns.
You've got a few on your right foot as well, though, Tom.
On my right, yeah. I always got taught, JPC mines to use the opposite, so that's what I did.
With the struggles, you've mentioned your foot. How tough has it been the past couple of seasons before this year, like watching on from the sidelines, not being able to assist the younger guys coming through?
Difficult. I mean, you want to play, and when the team's not going so well, all you want to do is be out there and help. And when the team's winning, all you want to do is be out there winning with them. So when you're in rehab, it's tough, it's difficult, but like I said, if you can stay consistent as a person, then you get through it, and you can only do what you can do. The body's let me down, but in saying that, I've played 160 odd games. I've won a premiership. I'm a life member, so I can't leave the game disappointed at all. I'm one of the very, very lucky ones that get to leave the game with that.